Hello, my name is Deanie, and welcome to my channel. Today, I'm continuing on my quest to understand and solve the story of the Five Nights at Freddy's series. In my last video, I tackled FNAF 1 to the best of my ability, and today we're going to start on FNAF 2. I'm going to build off of the theories I talked about in that first video, so I recommend watching that one first. FNAF 2 is a much larger game, so I'm not going to do it all in one video. So, like and subscribe so you don't miss the future ones. In comparison to FNAF 1, I'm coming in a lot more blind. I had watched the Markiplier and MatPat videos of FNAF 1 back in the day, but FNAF 2 and beyond is a pure blind spot, besides me watching the FNAF 2 movie. Though I hear the movies aren't really analogous to the games too much. So, I think the only fair thing to do is to jump right into the game and see where it takes me. Off we go! I have never played this game, and I'll be totally honest, I knew a little bit about FNAF 1 going in. I had seen the Markiplier Let's Plays back in the day. FNAF 2, I am essentially going in blind. I don't know what is going on. I don't know what story could possibly extend from that first game. It could be maybe Mike Schmidt coming back to find the pieces of the puzzles that he left behind, but I'm looking at this title screen and this doesn't even look like the same restaurant, so I have no idea what's going on. I know that when I finished FNAF 1, the ending, quote-unquote, that I got was Mike Schmidt got fired for tampering with the animatronics. He was messing with them to find proof of what happened, to find proof of the crimes, to find the bodies, specifically of his younger relative that died, who I believe to be Cold and Freddy. And he was fired before he could do so. So it ended non-satisfactorily. He didn't win. So I'm guessing that this game is Mike's return. Mike's try number 2. That's my theory. This was made in 2014. Wow. 12 years ago. Good lord. But these are new mascots here. Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica front to back. What are they flashing as? Because in the first game they were flashing the endoskeleton within. But the flashes are bigger than the real thing. Is this the endoskeleton like climbing out of the suit? Also, the suits, they look plastic. They're not plush and soft anymore. Very interesting. I mean, these are all new designs. Clearly, they look very like plastic doll-esque. Like off-brand Legos almost. But it's very clearly still Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. Like, that is a bear, that is a bunny, that is a chicken. Man, they look so strange. I'm trying to figure out what the flashes are here. But I honestly cannot. I'm gonna have to, like, scrub through the footage. But anyway. I think it's time to just go in blind. See what happens. New game. Bop. Help wanted. Grand reopening. Vintage pizzeria given new life. Come be a part of the new face of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. What could go wrong? $150 a week. To apply, call 155 Fazbear. 150 is less than the last game. Totally on first night. I'm getting less money. I guess they are broke. Okay. A phone call! Oh my gosh. The legal documents are back.
Hello and welcome to your your new summer job
No.
at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
That's the same guy.
I'm here to talk you through some of the things you can expect to see during your first week here and to help you get started down this new and exciting career
No, he's
path.
dead.
Now, I want you to forget anything you may have heard about the old locations, you know.
You
some
died.
people still have a somewhat negative impression of the company. That old restaurant was kind of left to rot for quite a while, but I want to reassure you, Fazbear Entertainment is committed to family fun and above all, safety. They've spent a small fortune on these new animatronics.
Oh!
Facial recognition.
Ew, I'm breathing. Stop it.
They even let them walk around during the day. Isn't that neat?
Wait, what do you mean you let them walk around during the day? No, you don't.
Tied into some kind of criminal database so they can detect a predator a mile away.
What?
Heck, we should be paying them to guard you. Now that being said, no new system is without its kinks.
I can use it in the...
to work at that location. The first guy finished his week, but complained about
balloons.
We switched him over to the day shift. So
what is that?
Right? Mainly he expressed concern that certain characters seem to move around at night and even attempted to get into his office.
What is this thing?
From what we know, that should be impossible. That restaurant should be the safest place on Earth. So while our engineers don't really have an explanation for it, the working theory is that the robots were never given a proper night mode. So when it gets quiet, they think they're in the wrong room. So then they go try to find where the people are.
Oh my god, another excuse.
So our temporary
no, they're gonna be in the vents?
Over by the prize counter.
No.
To be wound up remotely.
No.
So just every once in a while, switch over to the prize counter video feed and wind it up for a few seconds. It doesn't seem to affect all of the animatronics, but it does affect one of them. And as for the rest of them, we have an even easier solution.
What is that?
There may be a minor glitch in the system, something about the robot seeing you as an endoskeleton without his costume on and wanting to stuff you into a suit. So hey, we've given you an empty Freddy Fazbear head. Problem solved. You can put it on any time and leave it on for as long as you want. Eventually anything that wandered in will wander back out. Something else worth mentioning is
Who's laughing at me?
Modern design of
Wait, what's this? Click and hold.
There are no doors for you to close.
Why am I clicking hold?
You have light, and even though your flashlight can run out of power, the building cannot. So don't worry about the place going dark.
Oh!
Well, I think that's it. You should be golden. Check the lights.
Golden? That's funny.
Keep the music box wound up. Piece of cake. Have a good night.
Keep the music
I'll
box.
talk to you tomorrow.
Where's the music box again? Okay. Get blinded, idiot. Hey, I lost the music box. Oh, there it is. It's 11. All the way on the right. Got it. Okay. So... I put this on to deter any animatronic. Oh. Bonnie 2 is on the run. Oh, there he is. Shh, the music box. Sorry? Oh my god! What do I do about that? Hello? Oh god. Oh shit. Put the thing on. Ew! 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 I don't like his face. Stop. Wait, his face is gross. Did you see that? Oh! What is this doing? What is music box? What song is that? What are these things? And is this the FNAF 1 animatronics? Ew. What? Ew. I'm so. Ew. What the? That's. Ew. Sorry? Ew. Ew. Like. Ugh. Can we not with that? That's. Ew. Oh god. Oh god. He's changed. He's become toy. That Chica design was yucky. Uh-oh. Something's in the vents. I hear it. Something's in the vents. Am I gonna die on night 1 again? You've gotta be kidding me. Oh sh. Uh-oh. 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 Hey, can this guy go away? Please? Can you go away? What do I do about you? God, that Chica design was disgusting. That was rancid. What? Okay, look at that. Oh, there's confetti and a more digitized sound for the end game. That's cool. What the heck was that Chica design, bro? That was so yuck. Wow, I certainly had a lot to say, didn't I? Certified yapaholic over here. I want to start by going over that first night's phone call. There's a ton in there, said and unsaid.
Hello? Hello? Hello and welcome to your new summer job at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. I'm here to talk you through some of the things you can expect to see during your first week here and to help you get started down this new and exciting career path. Now, I want you to forget anything you may have heard about the old location, you know. Some people still have a somewhat negative impression of the company. That old restaurant was kind of left to rot for quite a while, but I want to reassure you, Fazbear Entertainment is committed to family fun and above all, safety.
So, right off the bat, we have a time period to go off of. It's a summer job. We also know that this restaurant is not the first, as it is new and improved. Going off of the new shiny looks of the animatronics, which I've come to learn are called the toy animatronics, I'd guess that this restaurant was opened much later than the one we work at in the first game. This is also supported by the fact that the man over the phone, who I've learned is now called the phone guy, real creative naming scheme there, references a terrible event that occurred in the previous location. Feels like a slam dunk for the 5 missing children that were killed in that previous restaurant. He even says it was left to rot for a while, which tracks with the terrible state of the FNAF 1 restaurant by the time of its closure. It looks like it was already being left to rot before it even closed. And, as usual with this guy, he ends his statements with some kind of legal corporate message from the company behind the restaurant, Fazbear Entertainment, saying they're committed to safety. I have a bad feeling that this might be some extremely subtle foreshadowing. Before I move on to the rest of the phone guy's speech here, there's an elephant in the room we need to address. The phone guy died in the first game, killed by Freddy Fazbear in the back room. I highly doubt that he survived, because I think that the game over screen from the first game is his remains. So that leaves a couple options. Either this was recorded before he died, or this employee just happens to sound very similar to the old phone guy. Or, what's likely the case, this game takes place before Five Nights at Freddy's 1. It's a prequel. One final thing I want to mention is that I think the phone guy in this game is actually calling in, which is in contrast to Five Nights at Freddy's 1, where he just made recordings.
they've spent a small fortune on these new animatronics. Facial recognition, advanced mobility. They even let them walk around during the day. Isn't that neat? But most importantly, they're all tied into some kind of criminal database so they can detect a predator a mile away. Heck, we should be paying them to guard you.
The phone guy says that these new toy animatronics have facial recognition and advanced mobility. This makes me think that the toy animatronics aren't moving into the office to kill the player because they're haunted, but rather purely because of their programming. It also explains their odd behavior when in the office, peering at you with or without the mask, perhaps scanning you to fully recognize your face. It'll then connect to a criminal database and match you against it, attacking if there's a match. If this is the case, it leads me to two conclusions. One, something happened in this restaurant that facilitated the use of these security functions. Something horrible. Some crime that hasn't been mentioned. I don't think it's the missing children from FNAF 1, since this happens before that game. So what is the actual event that caused these features to be implemented? The second conclusion I can make is that our player character has a criminal record. This is a strange detail, and one I hope gets a little more explanation. Either that, or the toy animatronics truly are haunted, and that's the reason for attacking, not because of the criminal database. Phone Guy also says that these animatronics walk around during the day. This is another fact that pretty much cements this as a prequel to Five Nights at Freddy's 1. If you remember, the Phone Guy in FNAF 1 mentioned that, as of your shift, animatronics have not been allowed to walk around during the day, after the bite of 87. Because of this, we know that FNAF 2 must take place before 1987, or we wouldn't have mentioned them walking around during the day.
Now that being said, no new system is without its kinks. You're only the second guard to work at that location. The first guy finished his week, but complained about conditions. We switched him over to the day shift. So, hey, lucky you, right? Mainly he expressed concern that certain characters seem to move around at night, and even attempted to get into his office.
Once again, Fazbear Entertainment has witnessed a pattern of danger in their restaurant, but instead of fixing the issue head-on, they throw a band-aid on it and hope for the best. There's a pattern of animatronic attacks, or at least attempted animatronic entry into the security office, and Fazbear Entertainment simply moved that employee to the day shift, not actually addressing the animatronics themselves. Also, it seems like the Phone Guy is pretty high on the totem pole at Fazbear, since he says "we" when referring to Fazbear Entertainment moving the old night guard to the day shift.
Now, from what we know, that should be impossible. That restaurant should be the safest place on Earth. So while our engineers don't really have an explanation for this, the working theory is that the robots were never given a proper night mode. So when it gets quiet, they think they're in the wrong room. So then they go try to find where the people are, and in this case, that's your office.
Safest place on Earth, huh? This line, I think, supports my theory of an inciting incident at this place that created the need for these safety measures in the animatronics. Even so, the people who made these animatronics, the engineers, don't know why they act the way they do. Fazbear is well aware of this, and gives, yet again, a BS reason why they act the way they do. Not given a proper night mode is pure BS. Just turn them off. This is so obviously a lie. It's just something for Fazbear to cover their asses with. This section also implies that the toy animatronics, even with their safety functions, aren't actually meant to attack anybody, just maybe call the police. If that's the case, then my previous statements might be wrong, and there is indeed a supernatural component with the toys, worth considering.
So our temporary solution is this. There's a music box over by the prize counter, and it's rigged to be wound up remotely. So just every once in a while, switch over to the prize counter video feed and wind it up for a few seconds. It doesn't seem to affect all of the animatronics, but it does affect one of them.
What? I honestly don't know what to say here. I haven't experienced what happens when the music box isn't wound up, so I don't have anything to say right now about it. But what this implies is concerning. Why would an animatronic be lulled by a music box? Unless, of course, it's not just an animatronic. Unless, like Five Nights at Freddy's 1, this is a child. And if that's the case, Are there more deaths than the 7 we know of in FNAF 1? The 5 missing kids, the phone guy, and the Bite of 87 victims all died in the narrative of FNAF 1. Since it seems more childlike, could this mystery animatronic linked to the music box be that victim? And how did Fazbear figure out that a music box would calm them down? Unless they had personal information about them. And why not just have a music box constantly running?
And as for the rest of them, we have an even easier solution. You see, there may be a minor glitch in the system, something about the robot seeing you as an endoskeleton without his costume on and wanting to stuff you into a suit. So hey, we've given you an empty Freddy Fazbear head. Problem solved. You can put it on any time and leave it on for as long as you want. Eventually anything that wandered in will wander back out.
Hey, remember that? That's the same excuse from the first game. The fact that the animatronics want to stuff you into a suit because they think you're an endoskeleton. As discussed in my previous video, this makes no sense, and is yet another lie from Fazbear Entertainment. I theorized that this behavior was linked to revenge, treating Mike Schmidt how they were treated in their final moments, being stuffed, hidden away in animatronics. But now we have something to guard against it, a Freddy Fazbear head. Based on the toy animatronics and the fact that the old suits, which I've come to find out are called the withered animatronics, are larger, this Freddy head is probably insanely massive on a human. Perhaps that's why it works. The head obscures the majority of the human from animatronic eyes. So when they come in, they see nothing. This would also help with the facial recognition software if that is indeed how the toy animatronics work.
Something else worth mentioning is kind of the quartz modern design of the building. You may have noticed there are no doors for you to close. But hey, you have a light, and even though your flashlight can run out of power, the building cannot. So don't worry about the place going dark.
Wow. Incredible job, Fazbear. You really did it. The building doesn't completely shut down after using a laptop. What great strides you've made in technology. I think this section is just for a gameplay mechanics tutorial, so I'll move on.
Well, I think that's it. You should be golden. Check the lights, put on the Freddy head if you need to. Keep the music box wound up. Piece of cake. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Alright, that was the end of the first phone call of night 1. I've got a lot of new info now because of it, but we're going to move on to something else. I want to talk about the office. The office in this game is really weird, to say the least. Like the phone guy said, there are no doors to it, just a long, dark, ominous hallway for animatronics to kill you from. It's not much of a security office in that sense. Similar to the last game, we have monitors on the floor, seemingly doing nothing since the little screen in our lab can connect to every camera. Perhaps it's something like a control panel for the animatronics when they need their firmware updated or something. I'm not sure. There's also those hellish, mysterious wires hanging from the ceiling with no explanation. I sort of explained it away in the first game, since the restaurant was going out of business, and perhaps demolition was underway, and the electronics in the ceiling were coming down. But this restaurant seems to be brand new. Why are the electrical systems just dangling like this? This is honestly one of those things that I have no explanation for. It's such a bizarre design choice that I know is probably leaning towards an answer, but I can't think of anything to explain these stupid wires. Curiously, there seems to be warning signs above the ominous hallway I mentioned before. This might have been added after the first night guards saw animatronics trying to get in. Otherwise, I don't know why Fazbear would add that. On the left is a poster with the new toy animatronics versions of the new band, alongside the word celebrate. And on the right are some drawings. Many of these are quite hard to see, but I'll try and make out what I can. In the back, there seems to be one of Balloon Boy. The one next to it is of the Mangle. Yes, this thing is called the Mangle, not Toy Foxy. Or, more accurately, a destroyed version of Toy Foxy. Underneath them is a poster with someone I do not recognize. It seems to be a black stick figure-esque animatronic, but I'm not sure. There's a second one with Balloon Boy, one with Freddy Fazbear, one terrifying one with Chica, and one with Chica, Bonnie, and Freddy Fazbear. There seems to be a lack of drawings from the children of the toy animatronics. The Mangle and Balloon Boy are represented, but Toy Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica all remain without drawings. Perhaps these were drawn before these new plastic animatronics were introduced, and that's why they aren't there. This restaurant just opened after all. Perhaps the Mangle, Balloon Boy, and the original Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy were at a different location before this one opened. Perhaps at the location where the horrible incident occurred. Now, there is one more drawing. One that, when I noticed it, sent a bit of a shiver down my spine. It's this one, of Golden Freddy. You can tell it's Golden Freddy, and not normal Freddy Fazbear, because of the clear color differences between the two drawings of normal Freddy that we have. He looks very ominous here. Dark eyes and a dark mouth. On the poster are 4 children. If we look at this a little metaphorically, this could represent the 5 missing children, with the other 4 possessing Chica, Bonnie, Foxy, and Freddy Fazbear. But I doubt that, since I don't believe that event has even taken place yet. It does look like one kid is away from the rest, not singing like the others. Something about the way Golden Freddy is acting here fills me with dread. It almost looks like he's luring them. This also changes the way I see Golden Freddy in the canon. Up until now, I've chalked this character up as a pure apparition, a supernatural entity meant to personify the evil that took place in the Freddy Fazbear Pizza restaurant. But this drawing shows that either Golden Freddy is a real animatronic, or he can show up in the minds of other people besides Mike Schmidt. Either way, this requires further investigation. Let's talk about the cameras. Let's start with the game area. This room is where Balloon Boy hangs out for the most part. During the day, this is likely where families can collect balloons for their various festivities. There's also a carousel with little simple versions of the Core 4, which I absolutely adore. They look so silly. Toy Freddy can also show up here on his way to the office. There's a happy birthday banner across the room that doesn't go away, which indicates to me that this area is usually cordoned off for parties of that nature. You can see party supplies in the back too, such as party hats, to support that thesis. The next camera is Kids Cove. By the name, I'd think this was a place for Foxy to be, but it's actually where we meet a new animatronic, the Mangle, which we will talk about in detail later. On the wall are similar or identical drawings that can be seen in the office. One of note is the Golden Freddy one from the office, which can be clearly seen now. To me, this looks like he is luring a child away from his friends. This gives me bad vibes. Very bad vibes. It brings to mind the fact that the killer in FNAF 1 used a suit to gain the trust of the kids. Maybe Golden Freddy is that suit. We also see 2 posters of the Mangle, one of which depicts it being torn apart. This may explain the state it is in now, which is bad, to say the least. I don't know how children were able to dismantle this hulking robot so easily, but they surely did some damage. We also see that horrible black stick figure animatronic again, which looks more like a puppet than anything. We also see a poster on the right that looks like what the Mangle used to look like. Given that this place has only been open for a week, I'm pretty sure these drawings and the Mangle were brought from a different, previous restaurant. The next camera is the main hall. There's bathrooms here, as well as posters of the new Plastic Trio. I am of the opinion that this new restaurant only introduced 3 animatronics, and it's the new Toy Trio, so it makes sense that they'd be heavily marketed by Fazbear Entertainment. Nothing else really interesting going on here. Some animatronics will show up here on the way to kill you. The next camera is Parts and Services, the door of which can be seen in the main hall camera. This place really creeped me out when I first saw it. Here are very broken down versions of the FNAF 1 Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, just kind of slumped. At least that's what I thought initially. Now that I know that this is a prequel, I have no idea where these guys came from. These could be refurbished into what we do see in FNAF 1, or these are an entirely different set of animatronics, once more carried over from a previous restaurant along with Balloon Boy, the Mangle, and what I'm for now calling the stick figure. There's also more wires dangling from the ceiling. At this point, I have no excuse for Fazbear Entertainment. It could be that the electrician is still doing their stuff for the building since the building is so new, but the FNAF 1 location had the same dangling wires, which indicates that this isn't something to do with the buildings, but the business. But what these wires are for, I have no idea. I'll float the idea of them being used to charge the animatronics, but if that were the case, wouldn't they be plugged in at night? Or is this how they get powered during the day, but then how would they walk around? It's all very muddy. Next up is Party Room 1. Nothing crazy to see here, more posters of the toy animatronics. There's a vent which shows a potential entrance that leads to the office. We also see this mysterious stain on the wall. For such a new place, I don't know what this could be, unless this building is refurbished or something. But this stain doesn't really bode well. There's more party decor and toy animatronics marketing, but that's about it. Next up is Party Room 2. Similar to the past room, there's a vent entrance and a bunch of party decor. Besides that, there's a wet floor sign alongside a massive puddle, which makes me think this building is leaking. I think this is more evidence for the fact that this building is really quite old, but a new restaurant just moved in, which is ironic with all the new imagery around. Sounds like Fazbear to do something like that. Next up is Party Room 3. There's nothing unique going on. Moving on. Party Room 4 is quite similar with one special quirk. Now, I didn't actually experience this. I found this while looking through camera images, but the paper art piece can disappear from this trio and appear in the office. It seems to be a clown of sorts next to Bonnie and Freddy. Why this happens or who did it, I don't know, but I'll probably think of something later. Next up is the prize corner. This camera is where I have to wind the music box, which the phone guy says keeps one animatronic at bay. I think it's the Stickman puppet in the images. I think it's in the box that can be seen in the camera. I haven't seen what's inside, but when I do, we'll have problems because I don't like the look of this guy. Besides that, there's an actual prize corner, which has really cute plushies of the characters. Next is the show stage. Nothing crazy going on here, just the main toy trio starting here. I don't know why the main stage that everyone sees would have a happy birthday banner behind it, unless the first and last event of every day is a birthday, but whatever, that's not important. The two vents are the final cameras left to see. There's not much to see here besides the animatronics making their way to you. One fun thing that I noticed when the Mangle made their way into the vent is that they seem to have a radio chatter sound surrounding them. I don't know what this could be about, but I'll tackle that later. That's all the cameras down, but there's a few other things I want to mention. To start, the flashlight. This mega corporation that can afford highly advanced robots can't get us a flashlight that doesn't die after 6 hours? Really? I think this is Fazbear being cheap and not caring about their employees once again. The lack of doors is also interesting for a security office. It's almost implying that this was an issue here, and they overcorrected with those blast shield doors in the first game. I don't want to go over the animatronics yet, because I guarantee there's a few I haven't seen in action, like that Stickman music box puppet thing. In terms of my initial theories, I'll sum it up here before going on to the future nights. I think that this game is set before the Bite of 87, so in 1987 or before. I also think that Five Nights at Freddy's 1 takes place several years after this one, at some unknown restaurant before this one. Freddy, Golden Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Balloon Boy, the Mangle, and the Stickman puppet entertained kids. That restaurant closed down due to some horrible tragedy, and after a while, this location sprang up. Fazbear Entertainment did not want to repeat what happened at the last one, so they created the toy animatronics, technologically advanced facial scanning robots that are connected to criminal databases in order to alert the police. However, they were never supposed to be the ones taking action, but they are for some reason. Fazbear Entertainment doesn't know why, so they made up an excuse of them not having a proper night mode, and needing to find people, and when they do, they see you as an exoskeleton and try to force you into a costume. Once again, this explanation makes no sense, and is itself contradictory, so this is clearly a lie. During the first night of this restaurant being open, the first night guard complained that there were animatronics trying to make it into the office, and was promptly moved to the day shift, likely to keep him quiet. Then we, the player character, enter the story, as the phone guy tells us about our job. That's about all I have for now, but I think this story will expand as I keep playing. One thing I will say is that this game is not as scary as the first one. Maybe it's the fact that the actual animatronic designs aren't as scary, or that this game is overall a lot brighter than the first one. The only times I really felt scared is during the jump scares. I was missing the creeping dread from the first game. I also think that me having to keep track of so many more animatronics led me to feeling more lost and confused than actually scared. That's just an observation of mine. If you think it's scary, then by all means, get scared. But this game just isn't hitting as much as the first, even though it's so much larger in pretty much every way. The music box and the mask are cool additions to the mechanics, but once again, that complexity takes away that simple, direct fear I felt watching Freddy and Co. approach my door in FNAF 1. On that note, let's keep playing. On to night 2.
Hello?
Hi.
See, I told you your first night wouldn't be a problem. You're a natural.
Thanks.
By now, I'm sure you've noticed the older models sitting in the back room.
Is that what these are?
Those are from the previous location, and we just use them for parts.
Oh.
The idea at first was to repair them. They even started retrofitting them with some of the newer technology, but they were just so ugly, you know?
No! Hey!
So
the FNAF 1 animatronics are not ugly. They're cute. I hate this thing. I really hate this thing. This must be a different character, because as we... Oh my god, this thing sucks! Yuck, dude. I hate that thing. I hate this thing too. This thing is terrifying. This thing's terrifying. I don't know where the other one went, but the new Chica? Yucky. That's a gross oh, hi. Yeah, this thing? Oh, god, what? Ew, dude. What? Ugh. Are we being for real here? Like, that's... Ooh, hi. You're freaky. You know what? You're terrifying, and that's a really cool design, low-key. Chica? No, not good. Chica is not a good design. Ew! What is that? Ew! Sorry, I'm saying ew to all these instead of like, ooh, I'm scared. They're just like unnerving little creatures this game has. Ugh. I guarantee you that the FNAF 1 animatronics are gonna start doing some stuff, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. What am I supposed to do? Oh god! Why is he looking all smug at me? Why is he so smug? Why is he looking so smug? What was that? I have not seen that Freddy before. He's so smug. He's like, I got you. I got you. Okay, let's try again. God, the chicken is disgusting. I hate the chicken, dude. The chicken is so yuck. What is up with the music box? Oh. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh! Freakazoid's here. Freakazoid is here. Freakazoid. Oh.
Hello.
Hi. No, you. Ugh. Ew, 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 ew. I don't like that thing. Oh, it's Mr. Plastic Freddy. Plastic Freddy. I love you, Plastic Freddy. They're funny looking, these. Oh. This might be the end of me right here. What do I do about that? Wow! Oh god, that's scary. Oh my god. Ah! Shut up, Freddy. You stop looking at me like that with those eyes. Ooh, Foxy. 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 He told me to flash Foxy. Uh-oh. 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 Okay, Foxy's gone. Foxy's gone. Put the mask on! Oh! Oh! Hey! What do I do about this? Hey! Hey! Hey, I'm a little lost. What do I do about Toy Chica, huh? Oh, they're gone. Hey, what do I do about Mangle?
Hello.
Mangle isn't leaving. Hello. Is there a child in the building? Who left their kid here overnight? Oh. Okay. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Hey, my thing isn't working. Why not? My flashlight isn't working. Oh, my flashlight isn't working. Okay, Mangle is not here anymore, but Toy Chica's here. This is a stressful game. Oh my god. How do I stop the flashlight from going away? I don't understand why it keeps dying. Is there an animatronic that's doing that to me? Ooh. Oh. Okay. Heartbeat racing. Heartbeat is racing. Oh my gosh. Hey. That's FNAF 1 Chica. This is the FNAF 1 stage. I believe I am Freddy. I saw something similar in the intro, but I didn't get a chance to record it. So, what's going on here? It's me. Oh my god, it's me! Wait! It's me! Golden Freddy! I am Mike Schmidt. I have to be. Okay, well, I guess I'm back in it. I'm not stopping. It's me. It's my young relative, Golden Freddy.
Yeah, I told you wouldn't have any problem.
Wow, that sure was a lot. Before I dive into the phone call, which for me is the real meat and potatoes of my analysis, I want to bring up a few smaller things. The first thing I want to talk about is the newspaper at the beginning of the game. It reads, "Help wanted. Grand reopening. Vintage pizzeria given new life. Come be a part of the new face of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza." What could go wrong? $100.50 a week. To apply, call 1555-FAZBEAR. There isn't too much to go off of here, to be honest, just more marketing for the shiny new toy animatronics. It does say Vintage Pizzeria, as well as reopening, which gives me the feeling that this franchise has been around for a while. If I'm correct that this is a prequel to FNAF 1, then there have been even more restaurants before this. This kind of gives me Rainforest Cafe vibes. I'd also like to mention that the job itself isn't listed on the flyer. There's no mention of night guard or anything like that, so I'm wondering if that's even what this flyer is for. It says to be part of the new face of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, so maybe this is a casting call for people to put on the suits and act as the character? Now I want to talk about the title screen. It's very simple, once again highlighting the new toy animatronics. Once in a while, the withered versions of the animatronics will pop up in place of the toys. I think this is purely to showcase the new designs of the animatronics and kind of creep you out, and isn't hinting at any deeper story beats. Next is the game over screen. This one is interesting. Similar to FNAF 1, it's someone being stuffed into an animatronic suit, what looks to be a Freddy Fazbear head. Unlike FNAF 1 though, this is a point of view from the inside. I think this supports my theory that the game over screen from Five Nights at Freddy's 1 is not Mike Schmidt in the suit, but actually Phone Guy, given that we don't have a POV in that game. I also think this is likely our own Freddy head that we've been using to survive being used against us in our final moments. Ironic, huh? We see a version of Freddy Fazbear, what looks to be withered Freddy, but honestly looks a bit more in shape than what we see in the game. The Freddy in the game looks dry and, well, withered, but the one through the mask looks stage ready. This could indicate once again that this game over screen is a bait and switch, and it's actually not the player character again. Or this could be a glance into the past, perhaps the previous restaurant where the withered animatronics were actually being used. Okay, let's tackle the Night 2 phone call now.
Hello? See, I told you your first night wouldn't be a problem. You're a natural. By now I'm sure you've noticed the older models sitting in the back room. Those are from the previous location, and we just use them for parts now. The idea at first was to repair them. They even started retrofitting them with some of the newer technology. But they were just so ugly, you know? And the smell.
There's a few things in this section that are extremely interesting. The first thing of note is the fact that the withered animatronics are indeed from an older location, and the reason they are so stripped down is because they've been used for spare parts. But another fun fact here is that they've been retrofitted. I feel like this is implying that the withered animatronics have the same face recognition and sensing as the toy animatronics. This makes sense if these are indeed the robots that end up in the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 restaurant, since those also seem to have visual and haptic sensors. Maybe this is another reason why they were attacking. But with the addition of facial recognition, that opens a whole other can of worms about the animatronics' motivations that I won't tackle just yet. The phone guy also mentions the smell. This is curious. The only other mentions of smell in these two games is when discussing the odor of the FNAF 1 animatronics after having bodies rotting inside of them, and of Mike Schmidt after messing with the animatronics. I think there's a strong case here that the withered animatronics are indeed the animatronics where the 5 missing children were stuffed into. Which means the withered animatronics are the same as the original FNAF 1 animatronics, with the same souls attached. So that begs the question, what's up with the rest of these guys? We have an explanation for Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and somewhat Golden Freddy, but what about Mangle, Balloon Boy, the Stickman, and the toys?
So the company decided to just go in a whole new direction and make them super kid-friendly. Those older ones shouldn't be able to walk around, but if they do, the whole Freddy head trick should work on them too, so whatever.
You know, I don't know about you, but this thing is not a kid-friendly design. Yuck. Because they've been stripped for parts, it makes sense that they shouldn't be able to walk around, yet they do. But somehow they're still fooled by the Freddy head. Interesting.
I love those old characters. Did you ever see Foxy the Pirate? Oh wait, Foxy. Oh yeah, Foxy. Hey listen, that one was always a bit twitchy. I'm not sure if the Freddy head trick will work on Foxy. If for some reason he activates during the night, and you see him standing at the far end of the hall, just flash your light at him from time to time.
So this implies that the phone guy definitely knows that the withered animatronics will activate, but is trying to put up a facade of safety for our sake. And Foxy here, once again, is treated as the odd one out. In the first game, he had a strange mechanic and was also out of order. For some reason, in this game, he is able to see through your Freddy head disguise. Something is up with Foxy. I know it. Something sinister. I don't have enough data, but there's something I'm missing with Foxy. P.S. He's also my favorite of the core 4.
Those older models would always get disoriented with bright lights. It would cause a system restart or something. Come to think of it, you might want to try that on any room where something undesirable might be. It might hold him in place for a few seconds. That glitch might have carried over to the newer models, too.
So, this might be a story beat, or just purely a mechanical artifact of the robots. It's hard to tell in this game what matters and what doesn't, what's a lie and what's the truth. This explanation could purely be a game mechanics excuse, or there could be something going on behind the scenes in the story. My best guess at this moment is that the flashlight blinds the cameras installed in the toys and the withered animatronics. This makes them unable to approach, and the phone guy, or Fazbear, assumes that this is just a glitch. And maybe it is just a glitch. Who knows?
One more thing. Don't forget the music box. I'll be honest, I never liked that puppet thing. It's always thinking, and it can go anywhere. I don't think the Freddy mask will fool it, so just don't forget the music box. Anyway, I'm sure it won't be a problem. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, so the thing that I've been calling the Stickman is a puppet. The phone guy calls it an animatronic on night 1, so I assume it's still somewhat mechanical/technological. It's also stated, similar to Foxy and arguably Golden Freddy, that it's more aware of its surroundings than the other animatronics. For some reason, a music box will lull it, though. This makes me think that whoever the puppet is, it's likely a very young child, young enough that a music box lullaby can calm it to sleep. That's the end of my Night 2 discussion, and unfortunately, the end of this video. FNAF 2 is a massive game, and I simply can't fit it all into one video. I'd rather give you videos somewhere near an hour than a 4-hour video that my little laptop probably won't be able to render anyway. But have no fear. At this moment, I've already beaten the game and have theories written. Part 2 of my analysis is incoming, so like and subscribe to keep watch for when that comes out. Next time, I'll be discussing nights 3 through 5, the transition cutscenes, minigames, hidden secrets, and whatever else I can fit into it. In the meantime, all I can say is thank you for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy learning.